Hi, here we are in my back garden. Yee, my backyard. I love my backyard. And this time of year, spring is still here, but summer's coming. It's getting into the high 80s right now. Anyway, we're back here because I want to show you a new project that I've started, and I'd like to show you how to do it because I think you guys are gonna love this. I had to get permission from my husband to be able to add this to our backyard as some features because, you know, I can get out there, and I know I have been meeting some of you online, and I know that you can get out there too. Be self-aware. Know that that's you. This yard could really be full of a lot of stuff, but my husband reels me in. I told him, you say no if you mean no, because, you know, he lives here too. So he should be able to enjoy the backyard. But anyway, he gave permission for me to do this project, and so I'm really excited to show you what we're going to look at today. I was watching a ceramic artist on television one day, and he had his whole house filled with these ceramic tiles with little messages on them. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So I asked my husband that I could add these to the wall around our house. So he's decided that I'm allowed to put 2 per space like this. So if I have 2 per space around the whole perimeter of my yard, that way wherever you are in the backyard, you'll have a lovely little positive come to you. So I'm going to show us today how to make these. So the things that we're going to need to do first is decide what we want to have on our little wall plaque. So those that I just started out there, they just have the words on them. And so I'm thinking, oh my goodness, some of you might be a little more creative out there in your initial thoughts. I don't know, but this took a while to come to me. But I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great to have like little figures on those as well? And so I'm going to try this one. So what you're going to need are some silicone molds. This one's a fairy. And let me see. Oh, let me show you. This is what it's going to look like when it comes out of the mold right here. And so this is what we're going to do on those little wall plaques. We're going to create our cement figures right here. So I've got this fairy. Over here, I've also got some ladybugs, bumblebees, and butterflies. So right, I go to the cake portion of Hobby Lobby or Michael's or to the Walmart, and yeah, I get my silicone molds there, and so that saves me some time, and I can actually see what size they are. So I don't order everything on Amazon. I like to go and, you know, look at and feel things with my own hands. Old school shopper. But anyway, I did order these on Amazon, these little fairy molds. So get your molds, whatever kind you like, or if you don't want molds, you don't need to do anything, and you just have those looking like that out there that I have on my wall. But I've mixed up my Cemental as usual. This is really fast setting Cemental, and I'm just going to spray my mold with my cooking spray. And then I'm just going to put the cement all right in there. Make sure it gets all in all of the little crevices. Give it a few little beats on the table. I smooth it off. Yes, and I'm just this messy in the kitchen. There we go. Want just a little bit above the edge, just for stability when it comes out of the mold. Plus this is going to sit down inside your little plaque, so the back's not going to show anyway. And so we're just going to, as it's setting, it's going to mount it up here. There we go. Clean off the edges a little bit, like so. And we're going to set that there. While that's working, I'm going to gather my other supplies. So, because these need to be completely set before we start our plaque, okay? So what we're going to need in the way of supplies here for doing this, your silicone molds, a bowl, a little stick for mixing, cooking spray, and your Cemental, okay? For making the plaque, this is what we're going to need. Okay, so the rest of the supplies we're going to need to actually make the actual tile. I'm super excited about this, especially now I've got these little shapes to put on. They're not setting fast enough for me. It'll be okay. We're gonna get this. All right, so what we're gonna need to make the plaques. And I tried a few different ways, and this is the foolproof, fail-safe way to do this. So, I also like to paint, and my grandchildren like to come and paint. They like to play with Grandma sometimes. And so I have these little canvases. You get this size at the Dollar Tree. You used to get this size at the Dollar Tree, and it's now $1.25 tree, but that's okay. But get your canvases. This is, I think, let me measure it. Hold on. I'm back. I should have measured that already. Let's see. Yes, the inside is 5 by 7, and that's what we're going to use as the actual inside. This one is probably 8.5 by 8 3/4 by 6 3/4. So that's going to be a really nice size tile. All right. I like mine to be able to sit inside the bricks on my wall. So this size works really good. This size is almost too big, but I'm going to make one this size anyway, because I can. So, anyway, so you need these two frames, these two canvases. So look at what I'm going to do. We need our canvas. We need some drywall mesh. It's a great filter, no wrinkles. Drywall mesh. Plastic wrap of whatever brand you like. All right. This isn't what I would buy, because I like the one we get from Walmart that has a little slidey zipper thingy that cuts it off, because this is kind of hard. Everybody wrestles their cling wrap. Anyway, and then here's what you need. I did order these from Amazon, stone stamps. I also have, of course, because went to the cake department at the store. Also, you can get from Amazon, you can get these cookie stamps. And these are pretty cool, because you can actually stick these together. I haven't made these yet, but you can actually put these together and make your phrase or your words, and you can stamp them. These, you have to actually, do one letter at a time. These are bigger than these, so you can get whole little phrases here. So these are pretty cool, because you can just do one stamp and it's there. So if you're into mass producing. All right, so I've got these 3 different kinds, and these are ones I've ordered a long time ago, and I'm so sad that I can't find these to order anymore, but I love the font. So I've been using these for some time on different things. Those are what I used on this little plaque here. So I love that font, but I've looked and I can't find that anymore. So if any of you are able to find cookie stamps or stone stamps that have different fonts, let us all know, so that we can all have some fun too. So you need your stamps, your letter stamps. Is that everything? So I think it is. I don't know. So you'll take the canvas off of your painting canvas. Take the canvas off. So now you just got this frame. I tried it, and I made it with the canvas still on it. And what happens is once you pour the cement into the plastic, the cement actually runs underneath the frame, and then you can't. It's hard. So anyway, what you want to do is take the canvas off on your table. Like this. That way, you'll be able to just push your creation right through. It's going to be amazing. It's the better way to do it. There we go. There we go, just like so. Got my little bees here. When these are all set, what we do next is we pop them out of their molds and then we get to paint them. This will be a lot of fun. That's going to be stinking cute. While I was waiting, I played with an idea. I don't know, this is experimental, let's see if this works. But what I've done is I've taken my canvas frame and I cut 2 little notches. And these are little wire skewers, metal skewers I got at the Dollar Tree. There we go. We're gonna see if we can make this work so that this can now be stuck into the ground. You'll want to use 2 because of the weight that's gonna be here. You'll wanna use 2. So, I don't know. Let's see. You like experimenting? It's how we learn. All right, here we go. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm practicing right along with you guys. If you have a better idea, please share. I'm wearing my daddy's shirt, so this is probably why the problem solving is coming through. My daddy was a great problem solver. So I'm just going to stick this skewer right through that plastic right there where I want it to be. Right on top of the plastic, on top of the mesh. I hope that that will give it strength. I made it thinner to allow me the ability to play with the skewers a little bit. Okay, it's been long enough. Everything has come out of their molds. Yay! Look, 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 it worked! Ah! Look at that. It worked. So I put it in the ground a couple times, so I want you to notice. It does move, but it's going to stand there, and it's okay if the wind blows it a little bit. But so for you all out there doing it now that we know what we need to do, put the little grooves in the back of your mold. Something stronger, I don't know, other rebar might be too fat, I don't know. So, but some sort of metal rods, maybe some aluminum rods, that might be good if you can find those at the hardware store. So that way you can then stick these into the ground and they can say your little messages. I am putting mine, take the plastic off, I'll be putting mine again on my wall. So I'm going to use a cement adhesive on the back here, but I wanted to show you when they come out of the molds, right, they're a little rough around the edges. It's okay. So I have my trusty piece of cinder block here that I've been using for, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years now. And that's what I use to kind of just smooth off the rough edges. These are meant to be stone-like, right? And so they don't need to be perfectly smooth, but just to kind of smooth off the really sharper edges is all I'm doing here. And so we're gonna just go ahead and soften those all up. And our next fun thing that we're going to get to do is paint them. And you can paint them up really bright colors. I like them to be a little monochromatic, and so they kind of look like stone, like maybe they've been carved out of stone. And then I do like to put a little color on them, but not like this is a honeybee and it's bright yellow and black. So mine aren't going to look like that, but you can make yours look however you want. But look, we did it. I haven't done this one before, so I love that. Oh, I didn't ask my husband, but as long as I stick to the plan of 2 per space, I'm sure he'll be. So I'm going to have a little bite of lunch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to paint these up, okay? Okay, we're to the part of the creating that I always enjoy probably the most, the painting part. So I've got all of my little plaques inside, and because it's starting to get warm out there, so we're inside. And I'm just going to show you my method of painting. So you all have your methods, you're creative, you know what you're doing, you've got your own style, right? I don't know if I have a style, but I know what I prefer to do. So I'm just going to show you what I do, and then you do you. And if you have the ability and the want to, show me what you've done. I just really get curious and hope that you're all having as much fun doing this as I am. So I'm just going to put the camera down here so you can see what I'm doing. And I've gone ahead and done the outline. So I've got my black acrylic paint, and it's pretty watered down. And so all I do is just kind of with my small brush run it along inside each letter. And so that's what I've done here, inside each letter. That's going to absorb into the cement, and that's what you want it to do. And so if it's too thin, you'll know that when it absorbs in, it's going to be too gray. It's just going to be gray. You really want it dark. You want it to be really black or dark brown, whatever look you're going for. But you want that inset to be really, really dark, because now you're going to put the color on the top side. So for this painting technique, I'm just using some small brushes. I've got one wide brush here to do the overall painting when I'm ready to do that. So we're going to be doing some dry brush practice here too, when you're just ready to put the highlights on top. So you all know me by now, that when I get into the painting mode, I don't talk much. And I've heard from some of my viewers, they prefer that I don't talk. Kind of like my children. That's interesting. Anyway, so I'm going to get down here, and I'll be doing this. I won't talk very much, but if I feel that there is an instruction that I want you to have, I'll certainly give that to you. All right, but I trust that you all know what you're doing. So now I've got this black inside here like I want. Now I want to put on my actual color. And again, I'm going to use it real thin because I do want it to soak in. And so I like yellow, and since this is called Happy Garden, I'm going to use some yellow. I'll use a little green on it too, but just a little spot of yellow. And I am going to thin this also. Give it my little, add some water here and just thin it down. The thinner it is, the more it will absorb into your cement. And that's what you want. You do want it to absorb in. So it's almost like a watercolor. Just a little bit. And then we're just going to quickly swipe over it lightly. just to kind of put in some highlights. And then, yep, kind of rub them down. I don't, in the way I'm looking, want these to look. I don't want them to look too polished. So lightly over my letters, and I really want that black to pop out. I'm going to make sure I've got this going on here. So going for just this kind of faux stone look. So I've got gold metallic paint. I also have, this is copper metallic paint. And so I use these together to really add some more dimension. So again, just a little bit on your brush, because you don't want it to be like solid gold shiny, but just a little bit of that natural minerals in the stone. You know, rocks have minerals and kind of shiny flecks in them, so that's what we're kind of symbolizing here. I use the copper with the gold, so the gold isn't so brash and harsh, but you still get the sheen and some of that natural mineral content that stone will have. And there you go. This is ready to hang up on my wall around my backyard, and so I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to top it with, where is it? Here it is. Clear spray paint to seal it and just to protect the color. So again, couple things to think about for all of you in colder climates. This is cement. If it gets wet and then freezes, it will crack. So you want to be careful about putting it out in some place like that through the winter. Those of us that live in the heat of the desert sun, these kinds of things can also crack if they get too hot, but usually that's not a big problem here. If you know, I haven't had things crack just because they're too hot. I do see things crack because they get frozen. However, what will happen is the heat of this Mesa sun will fade them. So again, use some colors, maybe some UV sealer, clear coat on top of it to protect your color. Put them in semi-shaded spots, whatever. But you want to take care of your art that's outside. Just know that after maybe a couple of years, you will want to go out and maybe retouch those. I do. Every couple of years, I go out and I kind of gather up some of my things and give them all freshen up and then put them back out there, and they're good to go for another couple of years. So about every year, I'm pulling some things back in and giving them a fresh up touch of paint. So anyway, there it is. I'm going to work on the ladybug one now. Do you want to watch? I don't know. We'll see. You don't have to, but I'm going to move on, and I'm going to show you the ladybug one. So we're going to use all the same techniques on this one that we just did on the one before. I am going to paint these ladybugs an actual red and black. I want them to be a definite red and black. However, I'm going to mute them down. And so they won't be like, I'm a big, bright red ladybug. Okay, I want it to look like an aged stone plaque. You know, I was born in England, and I love to watch British gardening shows, and I do enjoy the age of the things. Before the pandemic hit, I had the privilege to go with my husband overseas, and we did get to find the house where I lived when I was a baby. And what I love over there is they actually name the houses. That's kind of fun. Anyway, let's do our ladybug sign. Well, there we are. We finished the projects. I really enjoy these plaques, and people that come over and they roam around my yard with me, they really enjoy finding all of these interesting, they call it interesting surprises. And people share with me, your backyard is such a peaceful place. And that's what I like about my backyard and inviting people over. I hope that you will enjoy this activity, this project that I've demonstrated today. Let me know how yours are turning out. Cemental, that's it. A few little molds, some canvases, some paint. Who'd have thought you come up with such cool stuff? So have a great day. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for chatting with me from around the world. I like learning about where you're from and what you're doing. So let me hear from you. Have a great day.